Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys have been watching the cabinet install at one of my clients' house, there was a small issue that kind of came up. The bookshelf unit that was supposed to get sent, the cabinet installer did not send a bookshelf unit. They sent us like 7 refrigerator panels. So essentially, I'm here about to break all this plywood down, take some of these face frames and kind of rebuild the bookshelf units that we need for the install. And I want to take you guys along for that process. So the first thing we have to do is all these refrigerator panels, instead of having them glued or fully attached to the side panel, they're using maple blocks right here that have screws in them. So what I'm going to do is end up backing out all the screws, removing all the face frames, so I have raw plywood, so I'm able to rip and process it over on the table saw. I couldn't run it with this face frame here because it has a lip on the back side, so your plywood wouldn't be sitting flat as it runs through your table saw, and your back cut wouldn't end up being square. So first thing to do is remove enough of these face frames so I have just plain plywood to work with, and then we'll head over to the table saw and start breaking stuff down. Now that we have all the pieces broken down, the next thing I need to do is go ahead and notch my top panel so it can actually receive into the dado, and also kind of notch or lap around the side styles or the parts of the face frame. So what I'm going to do is actually take a pencil and kind of mark the depth of the dado, and then also take another piece of 1/2 inch plywood and put it into the face frame. Then I can actually use that as a place or a reference so I can actually mark where my notches need to land. After that, I'm going to head over to my bandsaw, set up a fence, and then add a stop block to the fence so I can actually make these notches repeatable and nice and easy. Now that we actually have the notches done on all my top and bottom panels, the next thing I need to do is go ahead and figure out what my actual top rail needs to be. The rest of the shelves inside this cabinet are going to be kind of without face frames because they already have an edge banding on them. But I need to actually figure out again what that top rail needs to be. So I'm actually going to do a simple mock-up so I can actually kind of gauge and take a measurement. After that, we're going to chop everything to length, and then I can show you guys a small mock-up of what it's actually going to look like. Now that we know that the top rail for this face frame is the perfect size, the next thing I need to do is go and figure out that proper depth for all my shelves. Again, they already have an edge banding on them, so all I'm going to do is rip them to their proper depths just to make sure that they don't interfere with the face frame or anything else. So we're actually going to stand the piece up right here at the very bottom, see what it is, take a measurement, and then we're going to go over to the table saw and then rip them all. And now with all the pieces cut, I can actually go into doing my first little test fit to show you guys how it's actually going to interact with the side panels and how my shelves are going to fit in just behind the face frame. And again, with the edge bedding and everything else showing, it gives a nice and clean look to this bookshelf. And I think we're using a bunch of this 1/2-inch refrigerated panels to make it. I think it came out pretty good. So we're going to get the rest of this kind of test fitted together. And then the next portion of this video, we're going to delve into the actual assembly for the overarching bookshelf. All right, then the next step is to go and drill all of my pocket holes so I can go into the assembly. And as far as the face frame, the top rail, and it has that dado in it, I'm only able to drive in one pocket hole strictly because I can't really get one inside of that dado. So I'm actually going to end up using glue when I assemble the actual face frame unit. And then all the shelving, or the bottom shelf and the top shelf, they will both have pocket holes in them. So let me go ahead and get everything driven together, and then I can actually show you guys the actual assembly process. The first step to assembling this bookshelf is for me to reattach all the face frames to all the taller side panels. And to do so, I'm just going to be using the maple blocks that originally came with all the face frame strips. I'm going to screw it back into the pieces of 1/2-inch plywood, making sure they're perfectly flush at the top and the bottom. And once I have all the panels put together, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start face framing and pocket screwing the top shelf in, which will kind of lock together the bookshelf. And then we're going to delve into adding the rest of the shelves. Now we have the main carcass put together, the bottom shelf and the top panel. The top shelf is all pocket screwed together. The face frames are all mounted with the maple blocks. The last thing I need to do is go ahead and put in all the shelves. And again, they're planning to actually paint all these cabinets, so I'm not really too worried about a few pinholes. So what I'm going to do is use some spacer blocks to kind of space off each one of the shelves, make sure they're perfectly flush toward the back. And once I have them sitting on the spacers, I'm going to clamp it in. And then I'm going to come back with an 18 gauge nail gun and throw in some nails. So I'm going to hold in all the shells, not nails, but 18 gauge staples. My apologies. But then when they come back and actually fill all the nail holes and sand it and then go into the painting process, you won't even know the fasteners are there, and we'll have plenty of, strong shelves. Again, we have 2 of these bookshelves to put together. I'm not going to film both of them, but the next time you see me, we should be on the job site ready to put together and install the bookshelf and the other upper unit cabinet that I had to build. That one didn't get recorded, but it is on one of my live streams, so you guys can definitely go back and check that out. We ended up building 2 upper cabinet units to replace the ones that they sent, because they sent me a 30 and a 36, and the ceiling was only about 56 inches tall. So we needed a 30 and a 24. I ended up building the 24 and these bookshelves over Christmas break. And when we get back to the job site, we'll be ready to finish up our install. right, we're now back on site. We also have built our new upper unit because originally they sent us a 30 and a 36, which gives us 66 inches. And from the countertop to the ceiling, we have 56 inches. So that wouldn't have worked. So we ended up building a 24 to go with the 30. And that gave us the proper height, which gave us 54, which leaves us a few inches to the ceiling. And now that we also have our bookshelf units built, only thing we have to do is go ahead and install everything. And what I did was on the top of each one of these units, I built an L-shaped cleat. So I don't need to actually put any fasteners all the way at the very top. And as far as the actual bottom section, we actually end up using cabinet head screws and going into the countertop and also hitting some of the studs on the very back. So it helps lock everything together. And then as far as linking the individual units together, being the bookshelf, which is the next one we install, we end up driving in screws from the inside of this cabinet into the face frames of the bookshelf unit. And then we use our L-shaped cleat at the very top to kind of lock it in. It's a pretty simple process. It hides most of the fasteners, again, by using a cleat on the very top side of the bookshelf. And this one didn't have a back to it. So again, trying to come up with a nice and clean way to fasten it without having to have either cleats or anything else visible. We're going to rinse and repeat this for the other bookshelf and cabinet section on the right-hand side of the unit. And then we also end up putting in filler strips going all the way up to the ceiling. I'm going to come back and show you guys what it all looks like at the very end. So hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of this install and this project so far. We end up having to come back and do a little bit more. We end up doing some doors and some other things inside of here. So if you guys have enjoyed this process, please let me know down below. Smash that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe, check out all my other social media being TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And then I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.